Hey boys and girls, today we're going to be doing lesson 13.2 in our Big Ideas math. We're going to start with our warm-up activity. It says the blue rectangle is about 10 centimeters long. What is the best estimate of the length of the red rectangle? So we know that the blue rectangle is about 10 centimeters long, and we have to find out what is the best estimate for the length of this red rectangle. Well, if we look at the blue one and we look at it halfway, we know that half of 10 would be 5. So half of it would be 5 centimeters long. And this one is smaller than 5 centimeters. So the red rectangle is about 2 centimeters long. Now we're going to do our Explore and Grow activity, which is on page 619 in your math books if you want to follow along in your math books, and if you want to write in them, you can do so while we're doing the video. We have to say, how are the tally chart and the picture graph the same? How are they different? So the first graph is a tally chart, and the second one is a picture graph. So we're going to look at them, and the title of it is a favorite pet. So we have bird, cat, and dog. In the tally chart, 2 chose bird, and in the picture graph, 2 chose bird as well, because I see 2 smiley faces, and each smiley face equals 1 student. 4 students chose cat, because I see 4 tallies beside the cat, and I see 4 smiley faces in the picture graph, so 4 students chose cats in the picture graph as well. All right, I'm looking at the dog, and I see 5 tally marks here. Remember, when we see a slash, that means there's 5, and then plus 2 more, which is 5, 6, 7. So 7 students chose the dog as their favorite pet. And if we look at the picture graph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 students also chose dog. So the picture graph and the tally chart have the same amount in each one. So we have to tell how they are alike and how they are different. They are alike because they show the same data, which means they have the same numbers for each one. For the bird, cat, and dog, both of the charts have the same data. They are different because one uses pictures and one uses tallies.
Why are tallies easier to read for finding?
All right, why are tallies easier to read for finding how many? Well, when you look at the tallies to see how many there are, it's easier to count the tally marks. So it's easier to see that this is 2 and this is 4, and I know that this represents 5, and then plus 2 more equals 7. And then the pictures, when you're comparing the bird, cat, and dog, you can see just by looking at the pictures in each line which one has more and which one has the smallest amount. Okay, now we're going to start with our Think and Grow activity, which is on page 620 in your math books. And we're going to look at a picture graph that shows a favorite season. So it's spring, summer, fall, and winter. How many students chose fall? We're going to look at the row for fall. Each smiley face equals 1 student. There are 6 smiley faces, so 6 students chose fall. Which season is the least favorite, which means the smallest amount? Winter shows 3 smiley faces, so it's the smallest amount, so winter is the least favorite season. Okay, now we're going to do the show and grow activity, which is also on page 620 in your math books. This is your favorite insect. So this is a graph of students' favorite insects: bumblebees, ladybugs, grasshopper, and butterfly. And each smiley face equals one student. Our question says, how many students chose butterfly? So we're going to look beside butterfly and count the pictures in the graph. We're going to count the smiley faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 students chose butterfly. Which insect is the most favorite? So we're going to look back at our chart and see which one has the most smiley faces. Ladybug has the most smiley faces. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Ladybugs is the most favorite. The least favorite, which insect is the least favorite, and least means small, so which one has the smallest amount, and just by looking at the pictures, I can see that Bumblebee only has 2 smiley faces, so Bumblebee has the least amount. And now we're going to do our apply and grow practice, which is on page 621 in your math books if you want to follow along. All right, this is a graph of a student's favorite school trip. Each smiley face equals one student. Remember, this is our key that helps us understand what each picture represents. So the favorite school trip to the science center, the park, a sporting event, or museum. And our first question says, how many students chose sporting event? So we're going to come up here and look at our sporting event and look beside it and count the pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 smiley faces. So there are 8 students that chose sporting event. Our other question says, which school trip is the least favorite, which means which one had the smallest amount beside it. Okay, so if we look at Science Center, Park, Sporting Event, and Museum, I can see that Park has only 2 smiley faces beside it, and that is the smallest number. So Park was the least favorite. How many more students chose Science Center than the Park? So we're going to look at our Science Center and then look at the Park. So there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students that chose Science Center and 2 students that chose Park. So we have to decide how many more chose Science Center than Park. Well, if I look at my pictures, I can see that when I look at Science Center, there are 3 left over. 1, 2, 3. These can go together and these can go together, but there are 3 left over. Or I can do 5, take away 2, and that gives me 3. So 3 more students chose Science Center than Park. Okay, we're going to use the numbers to complete the sentences. These are the number of siblings: your cousin, your friend, Newton, and Descartes. Each circle equals one sibling. All right, Newton has blank siblings. So if we look beside Newton's name, we can see that each circle represents one sibling, so Newton has 2 siblings. Your friend has blank siblings. So let's look beside where it says your friend and let's count the circles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your friend has 4 siblings. Your friend has blank more siblings than your cousin. So we're going to look at your friend and we're going to look at your cousin and see how many more your friend has. So your friend has 4 and your cousin has 1. Well, these 2 can match up together, and then that shows me that there's 1, 2, 3 left over. Or we can say 4 minus 1 equals 3. So your friend has 3 more siblings than your cousin. Okay, now we are on page 622, and we're going to look at a graph that shows favorite ocean animals, and each smiley face equals 1 student. We have crab, octopus, jellyfish, and sea turtle. Do more students like crabs and sea turtles or octopuses and jellyfish? So to solve, we need to find out how many like crabs and sea turtles, and we need to find out how many like octopuses and jellyfish. 6 students like crabs, and 9 students like sea turtles. So 6 plus 9 equals 15. So 15 students like crabs and sea turtles. 8 students like octopuses, and 3 students like jellyfish. So 8 plus 3 equals 11. 11 students like octopuses and jellyfish. Now we're going to compare the numbers, 15 and 11. 15 is greater than 11, so more students like crabs and sea turtles. All right, these are vehicles you see. This is a chart that represents vehicles you see. Cars, van, truck, and motorcycle. Each circle equals 1 vehicle. Do you see more cars and motorcycles or vans and trucks? So we need to add our cars and motorcycles together, and then we'll add our vans and trucks together. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars, and we're going to count our motorcycles, which is 2. So 9 plus 2 equals 11. So there are 11 cars and motorcycles all together. So remember that number 11. Then we're going to add our vans and trucks. So we're going to count our vans, which there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vans. And then we're going to count our trucks, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to add 8 plus 4, which equals 12. So there's 12 vans and trucks. There were 11 cars and motorcycles, and there were 12 vans and trucks. So which one had more? So you see more vans and trucks because that one had 12. Okay, now you're going to do your practice. You're welcome to write in your books if you would like to, but you need to do it on the computer so that we can check it. And so you're doing lesson 13.2 practice. If you have any questions, just send us a message. If you need some extra help with your math, just let us know through your messages on Schoology.